Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 215 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. My name's Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
All right, Tommy, today we're going to let everyone know how to get strong, how to stay strong, and how to use their strength. We've got three important topics to cover.
The key part is using it, though.
Yeah,
because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, you can get strong, but one of the topic is staying strong. So if you're covering staying strong, you can't really lose it, right? If you are staying strong, I guess they go together. You can't have one without the other.
That's really that's the takeaway there. Is you can't have one without the other.
We'd have to really interview Kaz to get to the bottom of exactly what he means by that.
I would really like to have a follow-up interview to that, and I'm really curious because he's commented on our posts before or liked.
Yes,
I'm curious if he knows that he is in the intro.
I don't know. I'm not sure. The last comment thing he made, it made me really wonder if he did know. I still think he doesn't, and I assume he doesn't know that it's this big, long running joke about everyone saying, get strong, stay strong, use your strength. But you never know. He might know.
That would be really funny if he did.
I do think that we make things look better than they are in real life, though.
I absolutely agree with that. There's no room for debate in that one.
Sponsors for today's episode. Are you excited to hear about the sponsors?
I'm always excited to hear about the sponsors. It might even be my favorite part of the whole show.
It is. It is mine without question. Today's episode is brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. The show is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Just make sure to use our discount code. That's MASS, M-A-S-S in all caps. That'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition membership for the life of that membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bar possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, Massenomics, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and to buy one of their legendary bars, please visit texaspowerbars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the ground lock deadlift slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. When you're there, make sure to use our discount code. You can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using the code MASS20 at checkout. That's our sponsors, and here we are at 2:15. Now, Tommy, we've been kind of starting the shows lately with the most important part of the show. I guess we can't break the trend now. And there is big news. There is big news. I can't use the word big or emphasize that word enough.
So I know what topic this is about, and that's about podcast reviews. I don't know how big the news is yet, though. You know I don't. So I'm ready to be shocked here.
There's a story here. So this is the hashtag Road to 200 podcast reviews. How long have we been doing this now? Like 4 or 5 weeks with the updates?
4 or 5 weeks, but you could also say for 214 weeks too.
Good. Yeah, good point. Good. Very true. We've got an update. And the reason this is important, everyone knows it's because of everything that happens once we get to 200. And I'm not going to bore everyone with all the details of everything we're going to do for you guys once we get to that 200, but I am going to help you out with the reviews. But before we do that, I have to explain the story this week. So Do you remember what we were at last week, Tommy?
Was it 161? 160?
I think 162. We were 161
okay.
maybe the week before, and then last week we were 162. So earlier this week, I checked maybe once or twice a week to see what the numbers are doing, if it's growing at all, and if there's any new ones for us to read on the show. And I checked. So today's Wednesday. I maybe checked on like Sunday this week, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and it said 163, and I was like, "Ooh, sweet!
We'll have progress.
We have an update." And then I checked again a couple days later, so maybe fairly recently. I checked here like Monday, so 2 days ago I rechecked, and it was back down to 162.
Well, what the hell?
And I was like, "Oh no, that's going to be disappointing. At least we'll be able to update how it went up and down all in one week."
They knew we were on the verge of the most 5-star reviews of all time, so they had to back us down, right?
Yep, they're censoring us, I think, is what they're doing. They're trying to keep us down. So then I checked today one more time. I was like, well, I'll check. Maybe something changed. And do you want to guess what the number was today?
165.
170.
Whoa, that is growth right there.
I believe it's probably, I don't know this as a fact, but I'm thinking it's probably our single biggest weekly growth in 5-star podcast reviews. Wouldn't you guess? Or
I would assume so, unless like there was an early week on when we first started doing it, when like, but even 10, we wouldn't have gotten 10 in a week early on. So
I don't think so. I mean, if we had that many weeks of that, we would already be to 200 by now,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'd be on the road to 1,000 or something.
So I was pretty impressed to see the 170. So I do appreciate seeing the support we're getting on this road to 200. People are now starting to understand how big of a deal this is. I feel like it's taken maybe a month to get the message out, but I think there's enough buzz right now. People are understanding what this 200 really means.
And again, you say, well, what is so big about this? Well, if you have to ask that question, we can't tell you. You should just understand how big of a deal this is. So
right, exactly. So do we want to hear some of the reviews? Because it was also a week where it gave me a lot of them to read, which is exciting. That's not
even
always
better.
The case.
Yeah, we might as well read them and just read the ads and be done with this thing. That's all we need.
The update to 200, read the ads, maybe do overrated, underrated, then shut it down. And there's a lot of good Massenomics nuggets in these reviews, like there often is.
That's my favorite kind of nugget, is a Massenomics nugget.
That's right. They're delicious little nuggets. Okay, this first one is a 5-star review, and it's from Not Strong, Just Fat is the name. The title is Massenomics Podcast, and he says, autocorrect, completely ducking underrated. That's, of course, in reference to autocorrect was an overrated, underrated topic.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how he slipped in the ducking?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, smart thinker there. Okay, the next one is from Lucas in Kentucky. 5 out of 5 stars. And he says, Road to 200 and Custard Pie. And that's the title, and the text here is, great podcast. Also, do you guys remember the McDonald's limited edition custard pie? Vastly underrated. So, Tommy, I'm going to assume I know your answer.
I never knew that was a thing. Do you remember it?
I do not remember a limited edition custard pie. I don't know how old he's talking here, if this was like a year or two ago or 10 years ago. Maybe people listening that have more info on the McDonald's custard pie could fill us in.
I'm getting to the bottom of this right now.
If only there was a device we could use to look things up at like that.
This very quick thing said our holiday pie. Oh, so maybe it's a holiday pie. I think it's the holiday custard pie.
Okay.
Creamy smooth vanilla custard nestled in a flaky buttery crust glazed with sugar and topped with rainbow sprinkles. It's kind of funny because this picture, it just looks like the apple pie that has rainbow sprinkles in it. I mean, it looks kind of like some just thing a kid tried to put together. Oh, but they're actual. Okay.
Right.
I was looking at the wrong photos of it. When you look at their marketing photos, it's on a much better level. I don't see, without spending too much time researching, I do not see immediately when this is, but it looks like it is a holiday thing. So.
Okay. So maybe when the holidays come out, we could get a shot at it.
Yeah,
again.
we might have to do a deep dive this holiday season.
Yes. Okay. All right, next review comes from Bard15832. Title is Road to 200. Maybe this is a long-lost relative of mine that forgot to put the I in the name Baird.
I'd say the chances are very likely.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. He said, came for the lift shorts, stayed for the apple pie. I think the apple pie has really taken on a life of its own, hasn't it?
It seems like it has. The apple pie just resonates with people, you know?
People really respond to the McDonald's apple pie.
You know, good old American apple pie.
Yeah, as American as lift shorts and apple pie. That's what everyone says, right?
McDonald's apple pie, though.
Right. Yes.
Not just any apple pie.
No. Okay, this one is from Beefy Boy 69. Respect anyone that still sneaks the 69 in their
and it also has the name Beefy Boy. That's even better. That's a good name. That's a great name, actually.
Yes. He won't regret that Hotmail address when he's older.
No way.
Title is For My Druthers, 5 out of 5 stars. He says, the McDonald's apple pies are subpar compared to Taco Bell's Cinnabon Delights.
I haven't had those either. Wow. I'm just realizing there's a whole world of fast food dessert that I know nothing about.
Yeah. People are very interested in the fast food desserts too. Taco Bell's Cinnabon Delights. I'm not familiar with those either.
Yeah. I think what's their little cinnamon things at Taco Bell? That's the only thing that I've ever even
ranchero or
cinnamon twist. That's what.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Taco John's, the Midwest, the Midwest treat that not many people.
What's their thing?
Taco John's
churro, apple churro. Yeah.
Is it apple or is it just regular?
I think. Well, maybe there's been options for both, and I think I'm crossing my wires. That was also a dessert we had for school lunches when I was in high school. Is they would have those. So
I thought you were gonna say I'm crossing my wires. I'm just thinking of McDonald's apple pie.
No matter what I'm saying, no matter the words that are coming out of my mouth, I'm always still kind of thinking about McDonald's apple pie.
It's just like half of my brain is an apple pie.
If there was like a little pictogram of your brain, like half of it would just be a McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Gibberish Letters. I don't know what to say there, but the title is incredible. 5 out of 5 stars. Love it. This is my contribution on your road to 200. I tune in every Monday, although it usually takes me a week to listen to the whole thing. Keep doing what y'all are doing. That's just one of those classic positive reviews that isn't really taking any backhanded shots at us or anything.
Not.
It's just
see, you might be giving him too much credit there. It did say it takes him a week to get through what we're saying. And so I would make the argument that if our content is that engaging, no one would wait a week to get through it all. So he might have slipped one in subconsciously there.
Yes, that could be. That could be. Okay, next one is from Super Ninfrendo Chalmers. And his title is #Road to 200, #JDLs for life. 5 out of 5 stars. The only podcast about lifting that doesn't immediately devolve into some kind of ridiculous life coaching / religion pushing / supplement selling / influencer worshiping / pseudoscientific garbage. Beyond that, these guys know how to pod and manage to keep it interesting and entertaining. Well done, fellas.
Well, he hasn't heard what this episode's about yet.
Yeah.
So
We actually were... This was going to be strictly life coaching in this one.
And we have a new multi-level marketing plan that we're implementing on this episode. So stay tuned.
Yes. Sorry to disappoint on this one. Okay, last one here. This is a very good one. I don't know if I saved the best for last. They're all so good it's hard to tell, but this is a good one, and it's 5 out of 5 stars from the President of North Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah. And as South Dakota residents, that's a big deal. Like the President of North Dakota doesn't just...
Yeah, to know that there's political figures out there in such high offices that think, I'm assuming that think highly of us. That's it's quite an accomplishment.
Well, and his title is Druthers, and he gives it 5 out of 5 stars. He says, a fine lifting podcast indeed. Massenomics is easily in the top 5 of lifting podcasts to ever come out of Northeast South Dakota, hands down. Toby and Timmy deliver the kind of hard-hitting investigative journalism we as listeners didn't even know we should expect in all things barbell and Great Plains weather-related. I'm always in awe as to how white these white guys really are.
And from the president of North Dakota, I mean, that's...
Yes, that's saying something. They're the Jefferson Deadlift of podcasts. Ultimately, I have to go with underrated, if only for the shorts alone.
Wow. That's really good.
That's our aim each week, is just to shock people a little more about how white we really are. Be like, wow, these guys really are white.
Oh, are they talking about the apple pie again?
And I like he called it Great Plains weather update.
Yeah, we don't have a lot to report on the weather over the past week. It's just been kind of cold and shitty for the most part.
Yep, very true. No more basement floods over here for me.
No, not for the time being.
No. That was the update. That was the big update this week. Excited to see where we're at next week.
Yeah, that was really good. We've
was
never
really
had anything
good.
like that.
What I would like to see, like, this week has maybe been the best collection of reviews we got in week. This is almost like a super team of podcast reviewers that got together this week. I'd like to see if there's a group that could get together for this next week that could outperform this crew, like,
that
to
could
challenge
show
them.
That could just show the president of North Dakota what it's really all about.
Right. I'd like to see if, like, the presidents of some of the other states could get involved in this.
That'd be really cool.
We could get all 36 state presidents involved.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yep. That's what I want. That's what I want out of this podcast.
Yep.
Get the presidents of states and regions involved.
I'd like to see if the president of the Great Plains could, show us support for our weather updates.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe even the president of the Midwest while we're at it.
Yes. They're all titles of president. It's just of larger and larger regions.
Bigger regions.
Yeah.
Tanner, last night, actually, I should say, I finally finished The Sopranos. All 86 episodes were knocked out over the course of about 6 weeks, and it was quite the trip. You said you've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah,
right?
I've watched, like, the first 2 seasons is all so far. I've watched that actually this year, so it's fairly fresh, but I haven't made it that far yet.
And I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, and it's a TV show that, at this point, it started over 20 years ago, so I mean, most people have probably either watched it or know someone that watched it or have a basic understanding of what it is, so I don't need to go in too much on that, but it is without a doubt a great TV show. There's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot going on, but this is not a spoiler at all. I did not know this until the show got done. The star of the show is James Gandolfini. I did not know that he is dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
I did not know that. That was like shocking to me when I got done. And because I tried to basically not do any research on the show at all while I was watching, because when you're going back on shows, it's really easy for people to have spoilers of major plot events. So I didn't really look at anything. And last night after it's done, it's like, okay, now I can do
What's he doing now?
Yeah, like now I can do a little backtrack. Like, why haven't I seen him in anything recently, or really any of these people for the most part?
Yeah.
And then it said he's dead. And I thought for sure, like, no, that's not right. And sure enough, he's dead. And that was like shocking to me at like 11 o'clock. I'm like, what? You're telling me this guy? It was almost more shocking than the show. But either way, I would still recommend the show to anyone that can invest 86 episodes into something right now.
Do you feel like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders making it to the end? Or
to an extent. So there's this thing, and I don't know if everyone gets this, but this has happened to me now with not Game of Thrones specifically, not Game of Thrones. This has happened to me with Breaking Bad and The Sopranos, where plots of the story a lot of times do involve, especially with Breaking Bad, like them trying to not get caught. Like it's these high tension situations, because you have seen all of Breaking Bad, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So, they're dealing drugs. They're trying not to get caught. The cops are after them. The drug cartel are after them. like gang members after them. Like there's always this sense of impending doom on them. Like,
Right.
And it's never really, there's not really many episodes of Breaking Bad that it's like, yeah, feel good. Like you get done watching it and you're like, yeah, that was really fun. Like it's like, no, okay. Yep. These people are just going down into a deeper and deeper spiral. And there was quite a few times on Sopranos where I got that feeling too that I did with Breaking Bad. Not to the extent of Breaking Bad, but I still did
Breaking
get
Bad's
that feeling.
very bad like that. Like that.
Oh, it can. I remember.
Like that. Yeah.
I remember trying to like marathon through sessions of Breaking Bad and just having to quit because it's like you just start to feel like sick after a while. It's just too,
it's like could make you depressed almost.
It does. Know? It just gets too heavy, which it is a great show, but you got to almost take it in pieces. It gets overwhelming. But I did start to get that feeling a little bit with Sopranos, and to the point where there was a while where I was having dreams almost every night that someone was trying to kill me or coming after me. And it was happening to the point that I was having these nightmares that they were waking up my wife because I was either breathing too hard or like making noises like I was trying to yell. And she would wake me up and like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, someone was just trying to kill me. And then I would just fall right back asleep. And so part of me feels this sense of relief that I don't think I have to deal with that anymore because I won't have these gangsters shooting each other and chasing each other down and trying to whack the other guy. So I think maybe I just have this, I can move on to this stage of relief in my life now.
Yeah. Is any part of you sad that it's over?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah. Cause it's like, with any show, you know, when you spend that much time, you're like, oh, I kind of feel like these are some characters that I know. And Tony, as flawed as he is, and he's an evil, terrible guy, he's kind of just a big teddy bear at times too. And I want to know what he's up to, but don't get to know that anymore. So
yeah. And especially a show like that, you know, it's not like you're waiting till next season. It's done. You know, that's
it is done. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my media update. Have you been watching The Last Dance or not?
I haven't because I don't. So here's what my predicament. I want to watch that very badly. Like I am so excited about watching that. I don't have cable or any ESPN access. I'm either going to wait. I think they just released 7 and 8 this last weekend, so I assume next weekend is 9 and 10 unless they break up that longer. And I think it's just 10 parts, so it should be ending within a week or two here, and I was just going to kind of wait until it's over and then buy like a month of ESPN whatever, or wait and see if they put it on Netflix shortly thereafter. Well, they probably won't though. It's ESPN, so that's Disney, right? So it'll probably end up going to
Disney Plus.
So it probably won't hit Netflix. So I'm just going to have to buy. I'm going to wait till they're all released, and then I'm going to buy 1 month of ESPN to watch it. That's how cheap I am. You know, that's a good nutshell of how I am with things, you know.
I mean, it keeps you focused, you know.
Right.
Make sure
have you seen it at all?
I haven't. My wife was saying, like, what are we going to watch now? And I think that might be the next one on the list. I think, you know, it's new. It's still coming out, so we can catch it without being totally left behind or missing out on what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it because
you don't want it to turn into Tiger King where a month later no one cares about it anymore, right?
That's so true. That talk about a flash in the pan, though. That was all like the
it really was
a flash. That is what they mean when they say flash in the pan.
Like if someone brought up Tiger King in a discussion, you'd kind of be like, yeah, man, that was at least a month ago.
Like, all right, weirdo.
Yeah. That's kind of how I'd feel.
Whereas 2 months ago, you'd be like, oh, yeah. Can't believe the crazy stuff that goes on there.
2 months ago, we spent an episode or two talking about it. I mean, we talked about it several times. And
now if we spent an episode talking about it, people would really think we're weird, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of be like if we decided to just start talking about making a murderer right now, you know?
yeah, or Serial. Did you listen to Serial, right?
Yeah, I did. I had done all 3 seasons of Serial. Did you ever do the third one?
What's the third one?
The third one is, it came out probably a year or so ago.
Bo Bergdahl is the second one, right?
Yep. And that one got a little long for my taste. That was like, I think 12 episodes or so. And to me, that could have been shortened a few. But
what's her name? Sarah Koenig or something like that. I don't know what her last name is.
Yeah,
She kind of pioneered this podcast for us. Without her, there probably wouldn't be a Massenomics podcast, I think.
I mean, we understood the importance of a great intro, and so that's where we had to get Kaz, to be on ours.
Right.
She has that piano that's also on everyone.
Yeah, he's at the beginning of Serial too, isn't he? Where he says something about using your strength and something.
How to research crimes, look for crimes, report on crimes.
How to not have resolutions to crimes at the end of your show.
Yeah. Season 3 was, I think it was Cleveland. She just goes to a courthouse in Cleveland and basically just follows different court cases as they're going through. And that one might be my favorite one.
Okay.
The second for sure is my least favorite one. The first one, depending on how you feel about the ending, I can see how that may or may not be someone's favorite. But the third was like, wow, you really learn that a lot of times when people get in trouble, at least criminally or in a criminal situation, that it just kind of is up to how the judge feels. And a lot of times, even when these people don't think they're in trouble, they're poor and they can't fight it. So they're like, I'll just plead guilty. I can't fight this. I'll just plead guilty. And you're like, wow. It gives you a really, really different take on what the criminal justice system is a lot of times a guilty plea is just, I don't have the time, money, resources, whatever to deal with this. So, yep, you got me, I guess.
Yeah.
And and that one really opened my eyes. So I like that one a lot.
You know what another really good criminal justice documentary is that I've started watching is Law and Order. Have you heard of this documentary?
SUV, yes. Classic.
I hate Law and Order. I want to go on record there.
But what about their theme song, though?
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Da-dum.
I hate it. With that fun little slap bass, and it gets that fun, that wacky little, what is it, like a flute or something in there if you get far enough?
I think the Trent Reznor came up with that beginning of Law and Order.
Yeah. It does sound kind of Nine Inch Nails-ish if you think about it. Law and Order, that's probably something I've maybe seen 3 episodes of in my life, and I couldn't even tell you what they're like. I just can't do shows like that. Like, it's always he almost got away, but we got him. Like, isn't that every episode?
Yeah, it's like the joke is they always find the semen. It's like there's semen on everything.
Yeah. Yep. And then you hit, kind of like CSI, you hit the enhance button a few times and boom, the mystery solved.
Yeah. People that actually work in labs and places are probably like, that is not what things are like in a lab.
Yeah. Or some people that got way into their careers were like, man, this was not what I was expecting.
Yes. But good documentary, Law and Order, if you're into that kind of doc.
Yeah. And CSI Miami too.
Yes.
All right. We're going to do some ads, but first we're going to do an ad of our own. And we have some new tank tops coming out.
That boy, howdy. It's going to be thick boy summer.
It is. Thick boy 69 summer is in full effect here. That guy, you could say, is a 420 short of the perfect username.
That's true. If he could slip a 420 in there,
a 420 or a fart, and he would have the perfect username.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, we have tank tops coming because 'tis the season, and these are, what do we got? 4 or 5 of them?
Well, it's like LeBron said, not 1 tank top, not 2 tank tops, not 3, not 4, but 5 tank tops. Is what we have coming.
Just like LeBron said.
Yeah.
So we got 5.
It's like a super team of tank tops.
Yeah. We got 5 of them coming, and they're all limited run. Like, this is it. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
So you're not going to want to
limited numbers of each one too.
Yeah, and limited numbers too. Yeah, this is a smaller release, so
some sizes honestly only have a few. In some of our more off sizes, there's only a few. So if you're like that extra small person or small or 3X, and you think you want any of them, buy them right away, or else they're going to be sold out and you're not going to get it. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Just about guaranteed.
And we're not doing reprints, especially for the one 3X that someone out there wants. It's not going to happen. So
exactly. So two of the 5 are comebacks. They're making their second appearance, but 3 are brand new, never before been seen by the public tank tops.
Yep.
So
and that's what do we got? The lift tank top, deadlifter tank top.
Yep. So the deadlifter's on the black. Yeah. The bench, but the bench is in never before seen bench heavy color. So it's like a dark heathered gray tank top, right? And it's with a white imprint.
Yep. So yeah, we got, and what are the other 2? We got deadlifter, bench, lift.
Then
our blue ribbon.
The blue ribbon one
and sport.
Yep, and that's on a light heathered gray tank top. So that's also a new colorway that we haven't done before. And then the last one is the Buddy tank top. And that is also a new colorway. That's on a white tank top with some different coloring there than our regular Yeah Buddy shirt.
So we got new tank colors of never before, new imprint colors of never before. You guys are going to want to get on this. We're going to talk about it again at the end of the episode, but
for sure,
that is our little ad. If you're still listening at this point,
they are comfortable tank tops. They are
premium.
They are nice tank tops, and I have the deadlifter tank top, and I really like that tank top. It's like a really nice fitting, and like the cut of it, I guess, of like the actual like straps of the tank top are really nice.
Yep, and some of them even have the two-tone, the ringer sleeves with the different colors. So yeah, it is a premium tank, that is for sure.
I'd like to see one person buy all 5. Do the
I
full.
Dare someone to
go the distance and get all 5 tank
road
tops.
to 5 tank tops.
We'll start a new segment of the podcast.
All right, enough from us though. Today's show is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid 70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with the intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe and began addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics World, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, that's MASS, in all caps, for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. And the Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Cold War Puller. From Russia with love, the Spud Inc. team has brought you a new way to do an old exercise using their Ukrainian Deadlift Rig. That's not Jefferson, that's Ukrainian. Ukrainian deadlifts are a great way to build your deadlift and squat at the same time. The Spud Inc. Ukrainian Deadlift Rig is designed to be home gym friendly with an extra long loading strap with an attachment point at 12 inches and at 20 inches. So you can stack weights to the ceiling if you want, or you can pull from a super low position with the short attachment point. The Ukrainian Deadlift Rig comes with a 20-inch straight bar handle with rotating center attachment point to make it more versatile and difficult. You can stand on plyo boxes, bumpers, blocks, or anything high like that to do this primal movement. Check out Spud Inc. online and the Cold War Puller at spud-inc-straps.com. And today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large sets the new standard for customer service within the strength world. Get email responses in hours, not days. They now have live website chat support available during the weekdays, so you can get advice from a real powerlifter with actual platform experience. The Lifting Large team wants to help you achieve new PRs in the gym and on the competition stage. When you're ready to try single ply and make your way to the dark side, give them a call. Lifting Large is home of the ground lock deadlift slipper, and it's always in stock and always ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 to save 20% on all Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
Ooh, hell of a good sponsor team there.
Great lineup.
Road to
Incredible
200.
lineup.
Road to 200 sponsors.
That's probably the most important road. 200 sponsors. That's also going to be the most important podcast in our entire catalog.
Yes, without a doubt.
Well, should we jump into the one of the topics that we've been maybe hinting at for a while, and that is the book The Back Mechanic by Stu McGill. And this is something that I think most people in powerlifting circles are familiar with, or have heard of, or have came across the McGill Big Three. If you haven't heard of any of this, you've probably heard of the McGill Big Three.
I think so.
There's a good chance your favorite powerlifter or a powerlifter you follow has posted something about it at some point. I think for me, my first exposure to Stuart McGill was probably through Stan Efferding, I think. Mm-hmm. And I think he talked about the Rhino, the one and only. He talked about the gift of injury, the back mechanic, and I mean, he has a lot of books, but I think that's where I was first exposed to it. And I'm sure for a lot of people that probably is too. But since that time, Stu has become fairly well known in the powerlifting world. He's teamed up with Brian Carroll, right? It's Brian Carroll, isn't it? Yeah.
I think
he's
that's
teamed up
right.
with Brian Carroll. They do, I think, like even some coaching seminars and clinics. I mean, they are a bit of a team. They're in a fair number of YouTube videos together. Mm-hmm. And he really does have quite a bit of content out there. And
he looks like the guy from I think it's called The Ranch on Netflix with Ashton Kutcher. That guy with the deep voice.
Isn't it like Elliott?
The mustache guy.
Yeah. He's also, isn't he also on the Big Lebowski? Isn't it?
That same guy? I think he kind of narrates the Big Lebowski, doesn't he?
Yes. What is that guy's name? I got to find this, Tanner. It's going to drive me nuts if I don't. Big Lebowski narrator. Sam Elliott. There we go. Elliott.
Yep. Him and Stuart McGill are the same person, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen them both in a room at the same time together, so you do the math there. But with his book, The Back Mechanic, why did I get this book? Well, I had been having back issues on and off for a very long time. And it seemed like the thing to do. Like he has lots of content online for free. If you can go on YouTube between different powerlifters, Squat University, even Stuart McGill's stuff, you could probably get the majority of this information on YouTube. If you just wanted to take a night or an afternoon to just watch a bunch of videos, you would understand most of it. But the book is fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $30 compared to a doctor or physical therapy visit that is essentially free.
Right.
So I took the plunge, got the book, and I'm not going to go into detail on everything here, but just it's a fairly...
if you did, you'd be the back mechanic.
I would be the back mechanic, and I am not ready for that responsibility. I can't take that on. So, the book's about 160 pages, and it's pretty big type. So, like you can read it in a couple sittings pretty easy. I mean, you could read it in one if you wanted to. It's just a lot to process, but it's not overly medical. He's not using in-depth medical terms. I would think most people that have spent any amount of time working out are going to understand what he's referring to. I don't think you're going to get bogged down with technical medical jargon at any point. It's fairly easy to understand. There's a lot of drawings. There's not pictures in the book. There's a lot of drawings. And sometimes the drawings are like, I I can see how a picture might have made this a little easier, or if the drawing was maybe a little more obvious.
Anatomically correct. Or
yeah. Some of these cartoon drawings are a little, but they do a lot of times get the point across pretty well. So I can't knock them. I can't knock them too hard. But big takeaways from the book are key parts of it. It's in 4 parts, and the first one is he has why me, and that's understanding your pain. Part 2 is the self-assessment and figuring out what's causing your pain. Part 3 is the repair job and the right tools to make activity pain-free. And part 4 is tuning the machine for best performance. The machine is your body in this case, Tanner. Spoiler alert there. Thought you should know that.
Giving yourself a little self-tune-up, so to speak.
That's right. So part 1, why me, understanding your pain. He talks about some different myths around back pain, getting to understand what causes back pain, from more on an anatomical level, like, looking at the anatomy of your back and what is in it, between bones and disc and cartilage, and it is a little bit of a biology lesson, but I think for most people that is helpful to understand at least where this stuff is coming from.
Yeah, and I don't know if he talks about it at all, but I don't think it's him. I've heard talk about this before, but maybe others, that us humans as bipods who, like, we evolved from probably people from something that walked on 4 legs to walking on 2, that maybe backs were never really the best designed thing to support walking on 2 legs for an entire lifetime, like that it's almost like you're going to have problems if you live long enough.
Yeah, and I've read the book, full disclosure. I think I read this book like 2 months ago now. So some of those details I'm not remembering completely. But I mean, he does talk about things like that. Like by the time you get older, your back will have damage. Like it just it goes through enough. I forget what he calls it, but basically like your discs and the vertebrae start to grind enough that if you have pain in he said the most common group that you see pain in is typically like late 20s, 30s into your 40s. He said almost always by the time you get to people that are in their 60s, 70s, their discs have ground down so much that they don't have pain anymore. The pain goes away because your discs and those vertebrae do start to just deteriorate over time.
We've got that to look forward to then.
So we do that. Whoever's listening that is in pain, just know that at some point that should, in theory, go down as your back just deteriorates.
Further
to nothing.
Deteriorates.
It will just lose the pain that it has. So you do have that to look forward to. One thing that I thought was interesting is he talks about, is surgery for you? And I am no medical expert, but he does.
But you did stay in at a Holiday Inn Express.
I did stay in a Holiday Inn, and I read The Back Mechanic. But he does cite a number of studies specifically for back health, and reporting that like people that go through back surgeries a lot of times don't report being any better off than people who didn't go through back surgery over the course of like 6 months. So if we ask you how your pain feels today and you're getting back surgery, you ask the second person and they're not doing surgery, you check back in with them 6 months to a year, and a lot of times they are in the exact same spot, the surgery person and the non-surgery person. So that's where one of his big things is the virtual surgery, which is just treat yourself like you did have surgery. And a lot of times when you have surgery, that means you're not going to the gym. You're not putting yourself in compromised positions. You're being proactive with your health. You're taking care of yourself. And he says, do that for like 3 months. A lot of times after surgery, you have a 3-month window where that's how you got to act. And he just says like that already will take care of many, many people's problems. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was an interesting thing too. I had never really thought of it that way. And that is specific to backs. It's not like if you have a blown MRI, if you just don't do anything for 3 months, or MRI, a blown like ACL or MCL or anything like that. It's not, if you just don't do anything for 3 months, it's not going to magically just be better. Right. But
we're talking about backs.
Yeah, we're talking about backs specifically. For me, what was maybe one of the better parts of the book was the self-assessment part. And this is finding the cause of your pain. And he has a pretty good number of tests that you do yourself, that you run through to figure out what causes your pain. Because there's a number of, there's many different ways your back can hurt and different conditions under it. And the first thing to making anything better is you have to figure out what the problem is. And just saying my back hurts isn't a good problem. Just like saying my car doesn't work. Well, that doesn't really do anything either. So in part 1 of being a mechanic, you need to understand when is the pain the worst? What positions is it in the worst? And he has many different positions he runs you through. Like one is to figure out, like, is it due to compression and load? Is it due to flexion? Is it when your back is in a state of flexion? Something that might be caused by more of like a shearing force on your back. And I thought that section was really, really helpful. For me in particular, I could feel my back pain if I sat. One of the tests he does is he has you sit on a chair, pull on the seat of the chair like you're pulling yourself into the seat.
Yep.
And that is like a compression test. And one of them is if you're sitting upright and it doesn't hurt, well, then compression isn't necessarily the pain. But if you slouch forward and then pull and then you feel it, then it's showing that, in a position of spinal flexion, that's where your pain is triggering. And for me, that's where it was.
Right.
It was the same thing in the gym. I could go and, I could load 4 plates onto the bar. I didn't feel any pain in my back. But if I ever got in a deadlift in a slightly rounded
just a
position,
little bit of a round, yeah.
just the minorest amount, that's when it would flare up. And that's what really made it clear for me that my issue is spinal flexion. And so once you understand your assessment, the next part of the book, the repair job, is using the right tools to make activity pain-free. And the number one thing is remove the cause of pain. And for me, I think there was a couple things there. One, I work at an office all day. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this do. They work in an office all day. I do have the luxury of my office is at my house, so I'm a little more in control of the environment than most. So with me, I have a standing desk. I was really, really bad at changing that posture through the day. Yeah. And his thing here is spine hygiene. So are you in hygienic positions? Basically saying, are you, keeping up with good practices regarding your back? Right. And so I've made an effort of trying to change that sit-stand position more frequently through the day. Like I'm guilty of, like, once I get in the zone on something, I can just sit for like 4 hours, not even think about moving. And I'm not in an office where someone can come in and say, like, oh, we got to go to this meeting, or interrupt me and, hey, come look at this. Like, if I plant myself, I can be planted. So I've tried to, one, just be more conscious of getting up and moving. Two, and probably the biggest thing was when I started my job working from home, I didn't know if it was going to last a month, a year, 2 years, whatever. And so I try to do everything really cheap. So for me, that meant buying the $60 chair off of Amazon.
Right. Yep.
And, I'm at the point where I'm almost at the 3-year mark. So it's like, okay, this seems like
probably going to work out.
Yeah. This seems like, at least for the foreseeable future, this will be working out. So I made an investment in a pretty heavy duty office chair. And I did a lot of research, and there's a lot of options out there. Unfortunately, we live in a relatively small city and in an isolated part of the country, so I wasn't able to really test out chairs.
Right.
But I did read a ton of reviews and pick a chair that costs a lot of money but is significantly more comfortable, and it has a lot of adjustment options to fit my body. So,
and you went with the hula chair, right?
The hula chair, it wasn't fitness's finest, and funny how the world works. After talking about it 50 episodes ago, I am now
full circle,
a proud owner of the hula chair. But no, there are a number of options. It seemed like, as far as brands go, Steelcase is one that pops up a lot. Herman Miller is one that pops up a lot, and I ended up going with a Steelcase chair. They all do have various models at different price points. So depending on how much you want to spend and how much style matters to you, style and design matters to you. There's different options ranging from hundreds of dollars to even thousands of dollars. So
does it come with a cup holder at all, or?
No cup holder. Some of them do come with a headrest. And looking back, I mean, a headrest would be kind of nice, but it's not worth. Most charge anywhere from $200 to $300 more to get a headrest. I don't think I need one that bad. So I did make a few adjustments there. And then also I did realize that just subconsciously, when I'd have to pick something up, I would put my back in a position of massive flexion instead of doing the golfer's pickup, where you kick one leg behind you or get into more of a proper squat. And, a lot of people, I don't think they realize that if you need to pick something up, a lot of people do just bend over and grab whatever they need. They don't think about maintaining their spine stability and staying upright through it. But I have put a much bigger focus on that in my life. And I think that it is helping with my recovery through these things. So, other things he talks about, and probably the biggest takeaway, probably the two big takeaways that he has here for recovery would be walking, the importance of walking, and Stan Efferding is also huge on that. His 10-minute walks, and for him, it's a lot of nutrition things too. I think he talks about like your body's like your blood sugar and how your body processes the food you ate if you go for a walk immediately afterwards. And digestion, all of that stuff. And as someone that is what you would consider an office worker, walks are important. I already did quite a few anyways, but I have that just validated that, yes, that needs to continue to be something that I do and I need to make time for. So I always get 2 walks in a day at least. Sometimes I get 3 in a day. And then the other big one would be the McGill Big 3. And with him, this is, I think, what a lot of people will come across once they start to look into this stuff, is what are the big 3 exercises. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube out there that cover it if you want to know what those are or see how they're done. And the first one that he talks about is, I can't even remember if he calls it the modified sit-up. I'm trying to find what he actually calls it here. But basically, like, people, they think of ab exercises as being like crunches. Yeah. And that goes right back to his thing
flexion.
When you do that, you're flexing the spine, and the spine is not made for flexion. All of those muscles, those stabilizers, are made to stabilize, not for flexion.
Right.
They do that, will work your abs, but it is compromising your spine every time you do that. So he has a modified crunch or a modified sit-up that you do. Then he has a side planks are a big one. So he has a basically a full like compound movement that he can take you to, from side planks to your front plank to your other side plank. Yep. And he gives you a routine for those. And then the final piece was his, wow, I can't even think of it now. Or I know what it is. I can't think of what it's called. Is it the bird dog? Bird dog. There we go. Yeah. And that's the one. I think a lot of people will probably recognize that one as being the one where you're on all fours and you're touching your fist to your knee, and then you're extending out opposite arms and knees. And it builds up stability and strength through your back, your core, and everything. And it is a pretty solid exercise. So I've been doing those at minimum 5 days a week for the past probably month and a half or so. 2 months, ever since I got done reading the book. And I can say for sure I've gotten better at the exercises. Like the side planks used to be really, really hard. And I've gotten significantly better at those. And even the bird dog, like that used to I used to be struggling by the end of that, and that's gotten much better too. So I haven't been going to the gym just with there's been the quarantine stuff going on. And now I have a baby that's going to be here any day now. So I figure, I'm this far into quarantine. I'll just keep my quarantine going and then get back into the gym, hopefully in the next month or so here. But I am hoping that once this all,
but that also went along with what he preaches anyways too, right? Of just not of
taking a break from it.
Right.
Of removing the thing that, and I for me though, it wasn't necessarily the gym that was causing the pain. I mean, it would be like just weird situations, like I would bend over to grab the laundry basket, and like, why does my back hurt now? It's like, well, you went into some weird position of flexion, and you made something not feel good. And now just knowing to avoid situations like that has probably been the biggest factor for me. So really, I feel pretty good on a daily basis now. And I guess the ultimate test will be in, a month or so, or whenever I start to return to the gym and start going through the motions and see how things feel.
How does it feel? Yeah. It'll be interesting to find out, or, to see how it goes.
Yeah. And I mean, if it doesn't work, I guess that's when full on depression sets in and I just reevaluate my entire life.
So what I was going to ask is, there's 3 things I was going to ask. The number one was if you think it's working or helping. I mean, you kind of answered that. I think it is, but you don't know, like, the ultimate test is how does it affect, like, doing the stuff in the gym that you were doing before? Like, does that stuff feel better or hurt less, I guess? So if it does, then, like, that is the test where it's like, well, that really paid off then. So then it's like, do you just kind of keep doing those forever? Like, is that the what you do, like the big three, I guess I'm thinking of. Like, do you kind of need to maintain those?
Like in his, he kind of makes it sound like they're just great exercises you should be doing for life, because they are very, very good core exercises, and there's not anyone that couldn't benefit from additional core strength.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I just the nature of people, I wouldn't be surprised if there's times where I do less of them, but
yeah,
I think it's a good habit to be in, is to just always be doing those, or to be coming back to them regularly at least, and never completely abandoning them.
Yeah. So the other thing I was wondering is, would you recommend if there's a lifter out there that listens to this that is having back pain, would you recommend that they read the book then?
I think I would, because when you start looking at stuff like this is like, what, a $30 book or so?
Yeah.
Just to go to a doctor who may or may not do anything for you. By the time, if you have great insurance, you have like, what, a $30 office copay or something.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance you'll get nothing out of that. And besides some more frustration, and why doesn't anyone understand this?
Yeah.
So I think if anyone is dealing with any type of ongoing back pain, or they just had back pain in the past and it does pop up occasionally, and they just want a better understanding. Like, this is the first book that I read where I'm like, or the first time that I've really came across something like, this guy gets what I'm going through. This guy understands me. Like, and there was several times where it was just like, wow, like that just clicks. Like, that makes so much sense. And I don't think there's a lot of times you read a book where you just have like these realizations, like, this guy gets it. So if you are in that position, I think it's $30, $40 very well spent. Yeah. I would recommend it.
So you would say purchase The Back Mechanic by Sam Elliott if you need to.
by Sam Elliott, correct.
Probably the most important thing I was wondering is, anywhere in the book does he cover it all that Backstreet is back?
Oh, he does say he has a few other books, so he must get into the fact that Backstreet is back more in the Gift of Injury, maybe.
I bet you're right.
That might be what it is.
That makes sense. Because they are back.
Maybe that's that could also be an Ultimate Back Fitness and Performance. Maybe that's where that's sense.
Yeah.
Or the Ultimate Back.
Yeah.
That might be the one.
I could see either of those probably. I'm sure it's somewhere in there.
It's got to be somewhere in there.
Yeah. So that's The Back Mechanic.
Yeah. So overall, though, I would recommend it if you're a person dealing with back pain, or you know someone that is, and they don't even have to be a lifter. If you just know someone with back pain, give them this book. They might be surprised.
Yep. Right on. I think it's a good recommendation.
And we don't recommend a lot of books on this show.
I wouldn't recommend anyone to reading very often unless they absolutely have to.
You know, besides like classics like Gone with the Wind, Dune, just any book that's over like 2,000 pages, we'll recommend those because we're very avid readers. We just don't make recommendations very often.
Right, definitely. Well, how about overrated, underrated? Do we have time for that today?
I think we can make a little time for it.
Eggs. Oh wait, was there anything else? No, maybe we got to get to overrated, underrated. I can't remember. There might have been one other topic, but it could probably be saved for next time.
We do got one. We're going to save it for next time.
Okay, we'll do that.
So listeners, that you decided this was going to be your last one, you got to hang in.
You got to hang in. So here we are at Overrated, Underrated for episode 215 of the podcast. And we're going to start with topic one because that's as good a place to start as any. And if you remember last week, can you remember all the way? We'll go in our Wayback Machine. Do you remember topic one of last week, Tommy, and what I said about it?
Topic one. Oh, yeah. You said that this is connected to, you called an audible and it's connected. They're connected.
Yes, right.
Somehow.
And do you remember what last week's topic one was?
Was it Jimmy
Buffett? Yes.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. Yeah.
Yes, yep. Right. So topic number one this week is buffets.
Buffets. You know what's good? What I think is really interesting is going to be with this whole Corona thing. If you're in the buffet industry, I would be a little like, if that is your business model, I think that it might be a long time before you see people have full faith in buffets again.
You might be underestimating some of the buffet clientele, how dedicated they are to buffets.
well, no, yeah. You are right. There are some people that the second a buffet is open, they're going to be there, and that is kind of the clientele that buffets attract. But I think the casual buffet goers are probably. I think a lot of them are going to be like, I don't need to risk whatever's going on to get my buffet fix
'Cause
that bad.
let's be honest, like that's in the back of all of our minds before all of this.
There's
like-
so many buffets. It's like, oh, that little sneeze guard thing. Okay, like that's purely presentation. There's no functionality in that sucker.
Right.
And who knows how many disgusting people have touched that handle and dropped it in the food and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So buffets, God, we don't even have many. We have like one buffet in our town.
I'm thinking Chinese.
We
have
Chinese.
Chinese
I
buffet and Pizza Ranch, and that's
God, a Chinese buffet does sound kind of good. It's been a
Yeah,
long time since
yeah,
I've had one.
yeah.
But yeah, there's not a ton of options available to us anyways. And almost always I would say Chinese food is probably better on a buffet. Most other food is worse on a buffet. Right? Would you agree?
Yes. There's a
is there any foods?
There's a trade-off on the buffet. What you get is you get the lower quality food, but you get the endless supply.
It's the old quality quantity trade-off.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're getting you they're not giving you the top quality on a buffet. That's not how buffets work. Like that's not how
Also, do you feel like breakfast buffets are always kind of a ripoff or not?
I would say I really enjoy a good breakfast buffet.
Well, a good one, but a lot of times,
the one
like the bad ones.
But
the bad ones are like the
for,
hotel,
right? But the one we used to do for the state powerlifting meet in Rapid City, I always enjoyed that buffet.
That was pretty legit because it was more like connected to almost an actual restaurant,
right?
You know.
Right. No, the continental buffets suck with the made eggs and those that's not even a buffet. That's just garbage.
Yeah, even the ones that try to be like a step up, and it's like, oh yeah, this is our breakfast buffet, and it's like, oh, these are like really shitty like imitation eggs.
Right.
The bacon is paper thin. The sausage is the bare minimum to meet the definition of sausage.
Like a high-end breakfast buffet, though, like in our town, like the Minerva's.
The Minerva's one, that is actually one of my favorite.
It costs like
$20
really, or something, but it is really damn good.
Yeah. I think buffets are overrated. There's almost never a time when I want to. I mean, the only time I'm going to a buffet is I'm like, I need to do some damage.
Yeah,
like that's.
right.
I'm never like, because it's like that is the best food, and if I'm going to go out, I want to eat the best food, not the most food. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say buffets are overrated.
I used to be the older I've gotten. There's like, if it was a chart of age and how much I like buffets, the older I get, the less I like them, I guess. Like when you're
when I was younger,
when you're a kid, buffets are really fun and cool.
Yeah.
When you're
there's
like
an ice cream
in high
machine,
school,
are you kidding me?
And when you're in high school, like they're still pretty. You're like, yeah, let's just we get as much as you want, and it's only $8.
Uh-huh.
And like in college, that's probably still the case. And the older and older you get, the more you're like, but it kind of sucks. Like I'm like, I'd rather have good food.
I just want to sit at a table, pick see a list of things, pick what I want, have you bring it to me, and you wait on me. Yeah, I think that's like a thing that you like more when you get older, and I'm of the same mindset.
I hadn't even thought of the coronavirus. That wasn't a topic for that reason, but that could be quite the blow to buffets in general. Here.
I think so. Like if your business model relied on buffets, I would maybe think of a way to diversify that.
Yeah, yes, for sure. Okay, overrated or underrated Social Security numbers?
All right. There's a lot of people that once you get into those libertarian circles that believe that the government shouldn't have anything to do with you, and as much as I think people should be able to, for the most part, do what they want, I don't think that means like you should be completely undocumented in any way whatsoever. So the concept of it, I am 100% on board. I think that's fine that if you live in a country, the government can have you documented in some way with a social security number. That's fine with me. What sucks though, or what's wrong with social security numbers, is that they're just super like not,
here you go, like
it's just a no. It's like it's not like a protected number.
No.
I could probably type in a random number and it'd be someone's social security number.
Right.
And people use it for verification. You're not supposed to do that. The system was never built for that. Like that's not how that works. And aren't credit cards, aren't they built so like the last 4 digits, like, or there's some combination where like you can't just enter a random number, like it'll know like, okay, that's a number that we don't do, because there is some there's some like check system in the back where like the last 4 digits add up to like a code previously in the number. Do you get what I'm saying there?
Yeah. I'm not aware of that, but that makes sense to me. Yeah.
I'm probably doing a really bad job of explaining that, but that's why you couldn't just go on a website and type in a random 20-digit number and Visa was like, "Yep, that's a number. You got it."
Right.
Because there is some like check system that it knows itself, that it can verify itself.
Right.
And that doesn't exist really at all in Social Security numbers. I mean, they're what, 3 digits and 4 or 3, 2, and 4 or whatever.
Yep.
And and then on top of that, it's like you get that one like paper card that you're not supposed to laminate or anything. Right. And it's also, it seems like there could be a better system of state issued IDs tying into your Social Security number and card and that whole system working.
Yeah.
But what was it Social Security numbers? Is that what you said?
Social Security numbers. Because the thing is, like, the reason that those exist to begin with, or that they ever existed for,
was for Social Security system.
Yeah, and people overlook that that's even the case. Like, that's why they exist, is to keep track of our social. Like, that's why they existed originally. But like, what gets tricky is that so many things that you do, like so many businesses, I would say for the most part, I'm not like it's not so much concerned about the government using it for other things, but it's like
you're not worried about the government taking over because they're the government and they already have.
Pretty much, yes. But like the way that it became like a thing, like you have to provide that to a business. Like, it's just a given at this point.
That's
it's
that is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
God, okay. So you're now kind of making me think, like, I don't think the number in itself, like, you need an identification number for a system to work. Like, that makes sense.
Right.
But the way that people want to use the number and need the number today, that is, to me, the messed up part. Like,
that's what I would agree with. Well. Yeah. Yes. I agree with that.
So like, in that sense, that's way overrated, because it's like, all right, someone figure out a better way to identify people with numbers if that's what we think we need to do here.
Yeah.
And let it be something better than a Social Security number.
Right.
So in that case, I would say yes, then Social Security numbers are overrated.
Overrated. Okay. There's a lot of controversy there. I'm not even fully aware of all the controversy that surrounds Social Security numbers, but it can be oddly enough, it can be a really hot button issue for some people.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I don't know if you know, Tanner, but Social Security in general.
There you go. Yes, yes. And if you're our age or younger, like your best approach is to like not even don't even worry about Social Security. Like, don't be factoring that into like you being able to retire at an old age. I think would be your safest bet at this point.
Yeah, just don't bet on ever being able to retire.
That's kind of. I feel like I think you and I maybe more than average probably do a good job, like as someone in their young 30s, like preparing for retirement in some ways. And it's still, even like when you really like, if you sit down and crunch the numbers or work with someone on, it's like, God, is this even still enough? Like, how does anyone get to retire?
Like, based off of what the median household income is, how does anyone retire? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work until you're 90 just to afford health insurance.
Exactly. Okay, so switching gears to something a little more serious. Overrated or underrated ramen noodles?
Ramen noodles. Underrated all the time, always.
So you eat ramen noodles then?
Not regularly, but I always have some in the cupboard. You know, it's if you're ever in a pinch or you just need a little snack. At what, 20 cents? They're tasty. They're always tasty. They're never not tasty. And if you want to get fancy with it, I used to I get the pot of the ramen noodles going, and then in a little pan, you could either
fried egg or something. You
could do a fried egg. You can fry up. You can get canned chicken. Open that can of chicken, fry up some chicken.
Got a little protein then.
Yeah, pour some sriracha on there, get that all frying together, get some seasonings going. You got like yourself a grade A dish all of a sudden, packed with protein, and it costs you like $1.
Yeah.
And
what about microwaving ramen?
I'm not as big of a fan of that. Like, if you're gonna do it, I'm just like, I'll take the 3 minutes to wait for the water to boil. But in a pinch you can.
Yeah.
In a pinch you can. I'm just that's not my style. But I think ramen noodles are underrated.
Yep. Okay. Last topic for episode 215, and I would just say keep my feelings in mind on this one. last week, you remember we went over one supercar. We discussed the Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do another supercar here today. Overrated or underrated? I think you know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Buicks.
Buicks. Well,
The
here's the thing with
probably one of the
Buicks.
most common supercars that you'll find.
It is. Here's the thing with Buicks that I'm not really a car guy, but Tanner, you might know more about this more than I do even, but I think back in the day, Buicks were considered a performance automobile. Like they made some Buicks that had some power and had some go.
And I think maybe even in comparison to like other General Motors vehicles, they were maybe a little more high end, like not a Cadillac, but fancier than a Chevrolet. I think is.
Yes.
And also, this is worth noting before we get too far. I think Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods both drive Buicks. So that's
Well, wasn't Shaq endorsed by them or in commercials
maybe it
for
was
them
Shaq
for a
too.
while
So,
too?
I mean, he'll take money from literally anyone, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if you looked in Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning's garage, the main vehicle they drive is a Buick.
Definitely. There's no doubt about that. That is their primary vehicle. So, yeah, I think Buick, to me, it's one of those brands that, in my opinion, as a 30-year-old male or a male in his 30s, the brand today is like, oh, so grandma.
I
Like,
was going to say grandma is the exact word, right?
would any man, no man would buy a Buick SUV.
No,
Like their crossover.
It's the
No man would.
the Enclave. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is like the definition of a grandma car. Is that vehicle? And you could maybe make the argument that if you wanted a car, you might get a Buick car, but I don't hear of anyone buying a Buick car.
Grandmas, I mean,
Yeah. So like, it's just, to me, it's a brand that, and maybe, I don't know what their numbers are like. Maybe that was the intention. Like General Motors is like, yeah, we need to make this the mom and grandma friendly, really more the grandma friendly vehicle than anything. But that is just, I can't see that brand and not think of that reputation. Like it would be insane to think like if Buick came out with a car that like had some power and was sporty, you'd be like, what are they trying to do? Do they not get who they are?
Right.
That doesn't work.
I feel like a Buick emblem on the front of a sporty looking car would be the oddest looking, like, it'd be like, what is that?
And you'd be like, who would buy that?
Yeah.
The grandmas that they market to aren't buying that. Any man is going to say, no, I'm not getting a Buick today.
Well, isn't it funny that Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning were even recently spokespeople for Buick? Like, what's the mark? I mean,
to me, they need.
I suppose
people
grandmas would be like, "Oh, that Peyton Manning is a nice young man," Like,
maybe I don't know. To me, it seems like they should talk to some people on like on HGTV, like and see what some of the older women that cook on there like, and let them be their spokespeople because I don't see anyone nowadays. I do think though that back in the day, the brand had a bit of appeal to it as far as muscle cars go and some of their other things, because they do have some cars that look really cool from back in the day. I'm looking at them right now. I don't know what they're all called, but they definitely did have some at one point. And that's just gone. You could say, what do you have, Tanner? The Park Avenue or not the Park Avenue? You have the
a LeSabre Custom, please.
LeSabre.
Yeah.
LeSabre. Is the Park Avenue the step up from that? Even,
It
or
is.
that a newer
in the
one?
era of Buick cars that I had, you had the Century, then the LeSabre, then the Park Avenue. That's kind of order in size and also ritziness. Like each step up was a little bigger.
Would you say that was also the last good line of vehicles that
I
they
kind of
made?
think so. Like after that, I guess the Enclave is probably a reliable, like grandmothers like the Buick Enclave. That's what they make now. I don't even know what their models of cars are now, but that is what I would say. Once they had a good run with the Century, LeSabre, Park Avenue, those are still everywhere. Like you see those all the time, and
you do.
I don't know if they stopped those
in all three colors they make, silver and
silver, maroon in both colors, and white. And I don't know if they stopped those in like 2005, 2006, somewhere in there. And after that, they have not hit any home runs like they did with those, I don't think.
Well, and to me, if you're trying to be like luxury, people are going to go after Cadillac. If you want to pay that tax, you want to pay that luxury tax, you're going to go Cadillac every time. And otherwise, I think Chevy probably has you covered for pretty much all your other needs.
Also, people
Their
don't
current
really
lineup-
make cars almost. Like, people don't buy cars
I was going
for
to say,
the most part. So
in their current lineup, the only car is the Regal.
Yeah.
There's that is it for cars. They actually have their only vehicles. It looks like here they have the Encore, the Envision, and the Enclave. And then for cars, they have the Regal. So they have the Regal, Encore, and they only make 3 vehicles anyways.
yeah. And cars are like a dying vehicle. I think Ford makes the Mustang, and I don't know if they make any other cars anymore besides the Mustang. Which
I think you might be right there. I think that might be the only one.
Which
that
is great. That's insane that they do. And I mean, they make crossovers, I guess, is why they don't make, like, because it's transition to that.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you and I both drive a car.
I do.
Yeah.
They're pretty practical.
Yeah.
I mean, they get good gas mileage. You can get around in them. They work. Chevy right now, they have, just talking of domestic
Do
manufacturers.
they still make the Malibu?
They have the Malibu still. They have the Impala. They also have the Sonic and the Spark, and I don't think you really ever see either one of those.
Yeah. People are all about the crossover life now.
They are. Well, and it is getting to the point where they get like the same mileage, and a lot of times they have all of the same benefits of cars plus more. So I get why, but sometimes it's nice to have that sporty LeSabre
Custom. It's also custom. But
yes, that's sporty appeal.
I do. It is customized. I do. The front 2 wheels on it are Cadillac rims. So
wow,
Cadillac rims on the front. So that's how you know it's good.
When it comes to GM products, you're a man of fine taste, is what that shows, right?
Yep. I'm not I don't really like Cadillac snobs. Like, I like Buick is like that perfect class of people for me.
yeah. Yep, they're just in it for just a good ride, right?
That's right.
Ford does have in 2020, they have the Mustang and the Fusion. So they have 2 cars.
Okay. Kind of crazy though.
Yeah, it is. It drives through any car lot, especially in our part of the country. And trucks outnumber cars probably 30-1.
Yeah, legitimately, yes. So what was your final answer? Did you really say, or did you skirt around the
Buicks? I kind of skirted around it. With their current state, I'm saying they're definitely overrated.
Okay, so you heard it.
They've murdered the brand.
I guess I have to disagree just because everyone knows I live that LeSabre life. So, okay, that's the end of Overrated, Underrated, and that's bringing us towards the end of episode 215. Make sure to check out those tank tops that we mentioned. In addition to that, I would suggest to check out on our store the podcast supporting membership option for those of you that enjoy. For those of you that enjoy listening, if you've purchased apparel in the past, or maybe you're not into the apparel and you want to support us in another way, a great option would be our supporting memberships, and there's a few different levels there. And
there's a $3 level, a $6 level. Just think, if you and 9,000 other people all joined at the $6 level, we could do some really cool things with Massenomics.
We could buy our own Buick.
We could buy our own Massenomics.
We could get around in an Enclave with a Massenomics wrap.
Yeah, and that's what we need.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's always been the goal from the beginning. So, but check that stuff out on our store. I'm going to touch on our sponsors again from this episode one more time. Today's episode was brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition membership for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bar possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and most importantly, Massenomics powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and to buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com. Last but not least, today's show was brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is the home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and always ready to ship. Massenomics listeners, because you're special, can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Thank you to our sponsors. Tommy, can they find you on Instagram somewhere if they want to?
They can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird, but most importantly, you can find Massenomics at Massenomics. See you next time.
See ya.